Cindy.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to Innovant.
I'm so excited to be here in the New York showroom. Can't wait to see the new collection palette in collaboration with Studios. Are you ready to show me?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, come on, let's go. Hey everybody, this is Cindy Allen, Editor-in-Chief of Interior Design, and this NeoCon, and more than ever before, we're talking about the future of work. Well, my good friends at Innovant have collaborated with international design firm mega players, my other really good friends, Studios Architecture, and they're answering that question head on with a new collection called Palette.
We started looking for a design partner in 2019 to develop a new private office line. So we've been going through the process of interviewing and meeting with different folks and designers, some individuals, some companies.
Right.
And then the pandemic hit, and 30 days into the pandemic, we said this really is going to be the opportunity to develop a product because everything else is going to be on hold for a while. At the time, we were working on a project with Studios in the DC area, and we were speaking with Todd DeGarmo about developing this product.
So let's talk about the customization of the product.
Yeah, customization, we call it tailoring, really, because we're
tailoring.
we bring products, we bring the skeletons and the bones of products to the marketplace, and we allow our clients and their design partners to work with us and collaborate with us to make it very specific and suitable to that client.
Yeah.
So we're all about making sure that what we make is on brand with the clients, and that's what tailoring really is all about.
I like that. What is Palette delivering that is different in the marketplace?
The engineering of Palette is proving to us to deliver an installation time which is nearly half of what we were experiencing with our previous products. That doesn't just apply to the installation, but also for reconfiguration to different configurations in the future. That's a huge differentiator in the market. It looks like it's an architectural piece that's been installed into a space, but it's actually completely modular. So Palette can be reconfigured extremely easily. All of the elements that you see, that you're going to see when the designers walk you through, are elements that are applied to a lattice work that exists behind all these elements. And that lattice work is what allows you to snap components on, pop them off, snap them on, pop them off. Take a right-handed office and revert it to a left-handed office.
That's so smart.
Or turn it from a private office into a conference room or a huddle room. So it's very, very easily reconfigurable.
Fantastic. Hey everybody, I am with Jordan and Monica from the award-winning firm Studios Architecture, my good friends, and they designed Palette. We're going to learn all about it today. First of all, I love the idea of design firms who are looking for something in the market. You have this big client, this big project, you just can't find it. How is that possible? And what was missing?
I think like working with, we do private offices all the time, and I think working in the pandemic, we saw a big hole in the market for what flexibility means. And Innovant is captains of that, so they were the perfect partner to study this with.
Yeah, well, we knew that Innovant did the open office really well. And how could we take what they were doing really well in the open office and translate it back into the private office?
So that was the conversation.
Yes.
That was the conversation.
Exactly.
I love that. All right, so I want to dig into this further. Are you going to take me through?
We'll take you through.
Okay, so we're going to see Palette, and we're not talking food. Okay, come on. Come on. Okay, so what's the story behind this office?
So in this iteration, we started to think how a media organization might use this office. And where we really wanted to focus on this story was in this post-pandemic world, what is an office and a meeting room hybrid? We're seeing this with a lot of our clients, the office being able to flex to a full functioning meeting room with varying occupancy types. And so that's what we're working on with this sort of iteration, and keeping the sort of finishes nice and fresh and starting to tell a story of how the finishes can work with the lattice.
I like this idea of hybrid. It's so true. So as designers, Monica, you're thinking, okay, there's a space, it's an office, but it shouldn't exactly be an office anymore, right?
Exactly. I mean, that adaptability, that quick kind of change of kind of how we're working is what we were trying to accomplish with Palette. From a storage perspective, you'll see that there's not a whole lot, but it's just enough to kind of hold you through your day, right?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, exactly.
What I love is this idea of like functionality on the wall. This is super function.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're in the next office. Now, how would you describe this one? Who's it for?
So when we were designing this office, we actually said, what would Todd need if he needed an office?
Todd
And so-
DeGarmo, the CEO, right?
Yeah, so if you're the CEO or a busy executive, you know, it's all about meetings all day. You really just need a touchdown. So we really wanted to play out something that was really sleek, really sexy. You know, it's got that kind of like Tesla finish vibe.
It
to
does.
This was an office that was very streamlined when we were working on the design, really focusing on very simple finishes. But I think there's a better person that can talk a little bit more about how the finishes were developed for Palette.
We're so lucky that we have kind of live, you're the big star attraction. We have Maria from Studios, who we're sorry you couldn't make it with us today, but that's the way of the world. And what we really want to know, Maria, is what does distinguish Palette from other products in the marketplace?
We've done a lot of private office design, and we know that it's all about the status, right? It's all about storage, taking a lot of real estate. But we learned a couple of things the past couple of years, right? We learned that we want to work from home, which I'm doing today. We learned that we want to come back to the office. And we also learned we want to be flexible. We want to be able to be here and there. And that's what Palette provides.
There's this idea of real estate and what that means, and also storage, because there's less of both these days.
Exactly. Back in the day, we kept designing storage and overheads and shelving, and all we really need is a place that can house our technology, and also, you know, things that make us feel comfortable, provide us with that comfort, that make us want to come back.
So you know what I noticed, Jordan, that there are minimal moves, but they're important moves. Like everything looks different, but they're like very, very, those are the hard moves, the quiet ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like with the finishes, we were trying to create more of a tasting menu than your full-blown menu.
Oh, palette. Yeah, so we are talking about food. Okay.
Hungry yet? And so with this office, we wanted to show like, hey, the world is moving to this, you know, what happens when we need double occupants in an office and what does that mean? So just showing how Palette can flex in that way. And then we just brought in, you know, we're like, hey, if you wanted to introduce color, you know, with this beautiful sort of plum tone, because, you know, it's a woman's world, and why not have those feminine finishes?
So Monica, we're in a big room. What's this story about?
What we tried to do when we were developing Palette is really make sure that we were developing a product that was also scalable, right? There might be those groups of people that are not ready to let go of all the storage, you know, the fancier finishes and just all that extra space.
You're so smart because not everyone is ready for big change. So it needs, as a designer, you know that you want to change, everybody can't, right?
Exactly. So here we have your sit-stand desk, but you also have your grand desk, your storage, you know, where you can put your dress when you go out. So just making sure that we had all of those components.
So this one is slightly more traditional.
Exactly.
But we're moving them into those other rooms very quickly, right?
Very quickly,
Right,
very quickly.
right. No
Giving
fear.
them a taste.
Uh-huh. So a big thanks to Innovant, a big thanks to our friends at Studios. We've just walked through Palette, which is smart, innovative, all about tailoring, modularity, answering the question about the future of the office. Our friends at Innovant and Studios are right there with Palette.